over the last century and a half, more, last 2 centuries, their reigning conclusion is that your health depends upon the quality of that milieu interior, your terrain, more than any other single thing.
Wow.
There's nothing close to the quality and characteristics of your terrain that determine your lifespan, your freedom from disease, the quality of children that you have. Okay? This is a shocker because you're going, I never even heard of this terrain stuff. And this guy's telling me that every single thing that means something to me, my family, my children, and something, it depends upon this more than anything.
Yeah.
It depends upon this more than anything, more than I could tell you in the next 24 hours.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Wow.
electrolytes are life. I think that's
I love
it's
that.
as simple as
Electrolyte.
It has to be
Life.
enough of them and the right
the right
ones.
proportion, the right touch.
So if you don't get them, you're leaching them from parts of your system. Is that how it works? Or
Wait, say that again?
that if you're not, since we're not getting all these essential minerals and trace elements, your body has to get them from somewhere. So
It
we're-
ain't. No,
It's not.
no,
Wow.
it just makes compromises. It's like you don't get them, something is going to go, oh, I like the fact that a cancer cell, oh, I like the fact that this tissue here is deficient in this terrain optimal quality. It doesn't have any cobalt in it. That's easy. That's going to be easy for me to go for, and it does.
Wow.
So I'd like to make the transition into talking about electrolytes, into talking more into physiology, real life now. Right?
Okay.
So again, we're saying we understand it. Electrolytes at the right proportion are necessary to life. Period. Base of everything. Now, why, and tell me like some physiological functions that your body cannot do. For example, muscle cells, nerve cells, endocrine cells need the right amount of electrolytes to be able to function. And if you don't have them, what can happen? Because we know we don't get them from our diet.
Right.
So what can happen?
Well, I mean, one, you all know that if you don't have the building blocks of certain chemistries in the body, you're making red blood cells. If you don't have the right electrolytes, they're made from that. They came from your food, but if you didn't get the right food to deliver the right electrolytes, you can't make good performing red blood cells or white blood cells. Think of anything that's in your body or your hair.
Yeah.
Okay?
And so can I caveat just for the watchers? So the reason, and I'm glad that you did the transition. So the reason why we're even talking about this is because we live in a modern world. This is the problem that we have with modern society, and this is what we pound on the table about. Like, do you agree that the problem is that we have lost, in the course of 125 years, we have lost 80% of the micronutrients in the soils that contain these, where we used to get these elements from. We used to get them from our food. I remember there's a book I read a long time ago that the glacier, people in the blue zones,
Yes.
one of the sort of the common denominators is that they drank mineralized water because as the glaciers melted, they rubbed against the rocks, the rocks
Absolutely.
diluted into the water, they drank it, and they lived to 125 years.
Absolutely.
So it used to be accessible to us via mineralized water, right? Natural water and natural foods.
High quality produce that contains the elements
Correct.
that become electrolytes in
that
the
they
body.
themselves are in the terrain. They have a rich terrain, so then the fruit we eat and then it replenishes the body. So the problem is that we live in a modern world that does not have this. So food is no
Fantastic
longer
point.
enough. Is that the
100%.
But to correct something, without minerals, you cannot get vitamins or antioxidants out of the fruits or vegetables that are growing. You need the minerals.
Well, for everybody, because I want people to get smarter and smarter. Let's just use the term minerals and trace elements. Okay.
Minerals and trace elements.
Because
yes.
we're so used to just hearing, calcium, magnesium, potassium, phosphorus, iron, blah blah blah, and then nobody knows the rest of the periodic table. It's all of those ones you have never even heard of before. Okay.
And that we think are toxic, but in small amounts are the
necessary.
conduits.
Correct.
Necessary
Well, there are
for our
ones we
system.
know are toxic, even in small amounts, like mercury, but it's so rare. But you don't know that there's the cells are looking for cobalt. They're looking for
Manganese.
titanium. They're looking for rubidium. They're looking for all
Silver,
of these.
copper.
In order
this
to
giant-
create that
But again, guys, I don't want to
electricity.
rabbit hole too much on. I love what you said. So we've determined minerals, trace elements are necessary to life. Where did we use to get it? From our natural environment.
Correct.
From the water, mineralized water, from our produce that used to have it.
Correct.
Now our modern world, we've lost more than 80% of this. So our population, our biohackers are used to saying, did you get your macros? Did you get around the right amount of protein,
Right.
carbs, fat? They're really good at this. But now we realize the micros are even more important for building life.
Correct.
So what we want to get out of this is that one of our patients watching us, yeah, they understand macros, but I need them to understand you also need your micros.
elements.
You need your sodium, your potassium, your magnesium, your chloride, your cobalt. You may not need all of them, but making sure you get the source of it. So I think the point of Carlos is great. Is that now, okay, we understand the importance of it. Now we see, okay, we live in a world where we cannot get them. And what I want us to focus a little more clinical now, what happens when your body is deficient in minerals, trace elements, or electrolytes. So
Okay. So can we go into what?
Yes, we
so
can.
one of the great ways that we can nourish this milieu interior, the terrain, with the electrolytes that we know, and that are the functional mechanisms of the terrain and do all the work, okay? They do the heavy lifting, is the discovery of René Quinton in 1897. And this shocked me more than anything when I discovered it, and that is a very special form of seawater, okay? Now, how did I discover that? One, I'm a water scientist. You guys know I've been done water teaching
that you
all
can do
over the
about
world, everything about water. And I was doing research and reviving the entire technology base for the country of Brazil when it comes to water. Brazil was lacking technology in water, and they had all this mineral wealth, and you need water technology to get the mineral wealth, okay? It was that simple. So one of the things I did is I had to go out into a remote area in Brazil, and I thought that was cool, okay? and I did, and to do these investigations and tests and so on. But while I was out there, and there's no doctors out there, and there's no place, no clinic, no emergency clinic to drive to, I became deathly ill with bacterial gastroenteritis. And I knew what I had, and I know you can die in a couple days. And I said, hey guys, I told the whole team, hey guys, I have to get a helicopter evacuation because I'm not going to make it if I don't, okay? And they said, ain't going to happen, Mr. Slovack. But a simple guy comes to me and said, oh, here we go. It's exactly what he gave me, exactly what I'm holding in my hands. He handed me this and it said, very simply, he happened to be the carpenter, and he said, this is our doctor, okay? And he believed this with all his heart because that's what they used for most of the things that were going wrong out in the jungle. And I'm going, oh, I mean, I appreciated his intent, but I said, look, Marcelo, I'm a scientist, okay? This is not going to fix me. And he said, you have no choice. And I said, what do I do with this? He said, just take 1 per hour and we'll see how you're doing. And I went back to my little hut and took 1 per hour. And I was very bad, more bad than I could describe on screen, okay? And at the end of 8 hours, there's 6 of these ampules. At the end of 8 hours, I woke up and I felt incredibly good. And I go, I'm either dead, okay, and feel very good, okay? God brought me to the right place, or
other side.
I really feel good. And I will tell you, I took a shower. I ran down to the only thing that was available and open, called a bar, that was filled with men drinking beer. And I ran in there and I said, Marcelo, holy mackerel, holy mackerel. You saved my life. How do I need more of this. Like, I don't want to be without this. I know what this did, and I don't even know what it is. And he said, it's made from the sea. I'm going, okay, good enough. I didn't know anything about René Quinton, nothing. And so he got me more the next day. He told me to sit down for a cerveja, which I didn't do. And this event, this 2 days saved my life, and it changed my career.
What year was this? What year was this?
Huh?
What year was this?
2004.
So I have to say something for the viewers, because they're listening to all this and like, what is it? What is it? Right? So what Robert experienced, and I used to treat that all the time in the hospital. He had gastroenteritis, so severe diarrhea, where he lost all of his fluid and his electrolytes.
Yes.
And what kills when you do this, it's that you get dehydrated, but it's not the water that you're losing. It's because you're losing all of your electrolytes.
That do all the work in your
that do
body.
all the real work at the base. So what you were given was that liquid that was not invented, that was brought to market by René Quinton, who are this amazing physiologist, which basically is filtered seawater.
Yes.
So you got electrolytes that you are doing every hour. So this is the equivalent at my modern hospital that I would put an IV with saline and then with magnesium. It would never complement this because it doesn't have everything, but that's how you were saved. I've saved many people like this with an IV with magnesium, sodium chloride, and potassium. So you were saved by this, by simple men who brought you something that this is why we wanted to do this.
That's amazing.
To show the power of what that primordial ocean that we carry within us, that they gave you that and it brought you back life.
So this contains 78.
Robert, before you actually explain it, let's cheer the fact that you're alive. Let's take one like if it was a little shot.
Give me one of these
Everybody
things.
take one
Give me
from
one of
this
these
one.
things,
Everybody
man.
take one. So we
Give me one
break
of
them
these
up.
things.
Where's the little thing right here?
So you could safely say that destiny or God
Right
took you to the edge so you can
I
learn
have
how
one here.
important
You
this
have
is.
one here.
We're going to open
Again,
these.
for everybody to see, this is a really cool. So
I
this
love
is
it.
how it comes
Yeah.
like this. I love that there's no plastic.
It's
we talk
all
about
glass,
endocrine
yeah.
disrupting
Guys,
chemicals.
this
It's in the-
and realize that this product came out in 1897.
126 years ago. Just
Yes.
to make
And,
people
and,
make
and,
sure
and,
of that.
and part of what we'll talk about
Okay,
is
cheers.
is-
Before
Okay,
you-
cheers.
we got to cheers.
I already drank mine.
Cheers.
I'll
Cheers, cheers,
I'll
cheers.
I'll cheer,
Here
I'll cheer.
comes to the bout to rain.
So the cool thing about this is
Put
that
it
this
back.
was actually used.
No, just put it back here.
This was actually considered medicine back in Quinton's time.
So this
So we'll
came
talk
out
about
in 1897. And the first thing René Quinton did to go, I think I'm on the right track, but I have to demonstrate to the world I really am on the right track. And in 1904, he transfused 6 dogs by first removing their whole blood as much as possible, as much as modern medicine could allow, and he replaced it with this product right here. And the dogs survived and thrived.
That's incredible.
And he wrote the book L'eau de mer, which is the water of the sea, is the same as the milieu interieur. Okay? That from 1904 on, this product made by René Quinton, Laboratoires Quinton was the company that was formed. This product has been a medicine for most of the 20th century.
Considered a medicine.
We're considered, yes, it was in, more than even considered, it was in the physician's desk reference of Europe called the Vidal. You can check this out. And in the Vidal, it actually states that this product can replace the blood of an animal with no adverse consequences.
So
It says in that book.
we're saying something very profound, that water with electrolytes, seawater basically, was able to replace an animal's blood that is able to be as good as intravenous normal saline, better
Correct.
than this. This is a really big statement that I don't even want us to kind of take lightly, because people listening to me like, whatever, those guys are full of it, saying this can treat all of those things.
Right.
But I think we made a very good point in proving why this is important. It's at the basis of every physiological action of every cell. So that's important. And now we found, one second, I'm sorry. Now we're making the transition into, okay, that plasma is what supports life, is the same as ocean water, good ocean water. And this is what René Quinton did. He got ocean water,
Absolutely.
he filtered it, and he was like, wow, it brings life. It can help with all those things.
Correct.
And then this is when it saved your life, and you decided, I need the world to know about this.
Now, I do want to be clear to everybody that when he did replace the whole blood of the 6 canines, and in the book it's written up in minute by minute detail, because at first they had hemolytic shock and a few other nasty things that made them uncomfortable, but they didn't die. And then the 2 dogs that actually were ill and had a disease, it was cleared up. I don't know if you know that part, but the dogs couldn't have just continued living. Their bodies went into overload to make up for they needed red blood cells. So they were in a state of like, okay. And then when the red blood cells were made and the rest of the chemistry was balanced, that wasn't the electrolytes, they caught up and lived a long life. I mean, they were followed for for 10 years or something.
I don't think they could do this experiment again.
No.
They
They
would
could
never
do it
do it
not
with
true.
animals, huh?
Not true.
They
It was
would?
done by existing modern laboratories
Laboratories, yeah.
4 more times.
Really, and we're able to do this.
One in Spain and 3 in the United States.
So good. So really, what we really want to focus on again is how René Quinton was able to understand physiology. And he's like, wow, okay, so this is what our body needs. Where can we get that? And he found it in the ocean. So I want you to kind of say, because people listening to this, we're going very deep, but people listening to this, okay, you made out your point. Electrolytes are important. Why can't I just drink electrolyte water? Why can't I just put salt in my water? So let's go over this. Why is
Celtic
this
salt. A lot of
product
people exactly
so
Celtic
much more
salt.
superior?
Because
That's what we want to do.